All right, class, and welcome to our lesson 3-10. You might be thinking, wait a second, yesterday we did 3-8. Well, today we are skipping lesson 3-9 and we're moving right on to 3-10. So let's take a look quickly at our learning target for today. I can use the commutative property to solve multiplication problems. And looking at this, the commutative property is the same as the turnaround rule, which means that 5 times 7 is the same as 7 times 5. We talked about this a little bit in Unit 1 and 2. And let's take a look first at this example of 5 times 7 and 7 times 5. Let's prove that those are the same. So the factors that we are using are 5 and 7. We're going to make our first array 5 by 7. So we're going to use these dots here to help us. And let me change colors. We've got 5, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now I've got 5 rows, and now I need to put 5 in each row. 7 in each row. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then I move on to my next row. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm going to go on to writing my number model. My number model for this problem is 5 times 7. To solve that, I can count by my 5s. Go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. So 5 times 7 is 35. We're going to do the same thing with our second array, except it's going to be different. It's going to show 7 times 5. So let's write the number model down there now. We're going to have 7 times 5. So let's get started with that number model. So we have, now we're going to make 7 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And we need to put 5 in each row. So starting at this top row here, we're going to put 5 in each one of those rows. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now we've got our array. And again, the purpose of this lesson is to show that whatever's easiest for you, since over here counting by our 5s is a lot easier. So we're going to do the same thing again here. We just have to look at it a little bit differently. So we're going to look at it this way and go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. So 7 times 5 is 35. So we've seen now that if we switch the factors, 5 and 7, or 7 and 5, that we both get the same answer. And this is helpful because when we see that factor of 5, maybe we don't want to count by 7s. Counting by 7s would be a little bit more challenging if we had to go 7, 14, 21, 28, 35. Maybe you're not as skilled at practicing and counting by 7s, so you want to count by 5. So we can use the commutative property, also known as the turnaround rule, and we can switch factors around and get the same answer. Let's take a look at another example. I'm going to look now at the factors of 2 and 6. So I'm going to get started here. My first number model will be 2 times 6, and then I'm going to show 6 times 2. So let's get started with my first picture. I'm going to show 2 rows of 6. So I've got 1 row, 2 rows, and I got to put 6 in each row. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I can do this 2 ways now. Now I can count and I can do, hang on, let me switch my marker. I can do 6 plus 6 and get 12. Now let's look at this a different way. So now I'm going to show 6 rows with 2 in each row. So I've got 6 rows, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I've got 6 rows, 2 in each row. And this would be a time when I can count by my 2s. And I could go 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. And I get the same answer. So we can see that it proves now that the commutative property, or the turnaround rule, being able to switch factors 2 and 6 or 6 and 2, that we get the same answer. And we can use this to help us, because maybe sometimes if we, let's had a problem like 2 times 9, maybe 9 plus 9 in our head wasn't as easy to solve. We could do and count by our 2s 9 times. Let's take a look at what I want you to do for today's math work. So today for your math assignment, you're going to complete page 88 and submit in Seesaw. Notice it looks very similar to what I'm doing now. It asks you to roll a die twice to get 2 factors. Remember, I showed you at the beginning of our lesson how to roll a die in ConnectEd. And if you're having trouble, I can give you some real die, some tangible die. So fill out page 88, submit in Seesaw. When you're done, listen very closely. You're going to submit math boxes 3-9 and 3-10. We were skipping part of 3-9, but we're going to stick and still do the practice. So 2 math box pages. That's why this lesson is a little bit shorter today. If you have any questions, feel free to come on up. I'll be floating around and helping you with your work. Thank you for your attention in the loft.